Objection, the motion prevails by unanimous consent. We will now be hearing testimony on House Bill 4940 and 5115. Representatives Pohutsky and Martin will be testifying, and Bob Reisner and Dylan Gebhard from Eagle and Mark Griffin from the Michigan Petroleum Association will follow. Representatives, begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we testified in previous committee for natural resources on this, we've gone through this once before. We got some. There's an H2 in my bill just for some of the funding for additional claims. So my bill basically for underground storage tanks is the funding mechanism. The real meat and potatoes would be Representative Pohutsky.
And I'm going to leave most of that meat and potatoes to the folks over at Eagle who can speak a little bit more in depth. But just a overview is these bills update Michigan statute outlining underground storage tank cleanup funding. Currently, Part 215 has an administrative cap, and that cap only allows for 7% of the fund's revenue to go towards administering the fund. So this has resulted in lengthened time frames when responding to claims and invoices due to budgetary constraints. It's also conflating claims and invoices as currently written, which has caused some confusion in the administration of that fund and exacerbated those previously mentioned lengthy timelines. These bills would raise that administrative cap from 7% to 12% and allow claimants to pursue more thorough cleanups and clarify current restrictions to expedite that process.
Great, thank you. Questions from other members of the committee? Look forward to the additional testimony. I just want to highlight that this deals with rules that have already been promulgated by the department. Correct. So, okay, great. Thank you. So now we'll hear from Bob and Dylan from Eagle. Gentlemen, begin when you're ready. Could you hit the mic, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee for the opportunity to provide testimony in support of House Bills 4940 and 5115. My name is Dylan Gebhard, and I serve as the legislative liaison for the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. I'm joined today by Bob Reisner, our underground storage tank administrator. So just wanted to provide some brief testimony on the bills and kind of talk about our program. Together, these bills make several important updates to streamline and improve the operation of the underground storage tank fund. First, the legislation clarifies the processes for submitting claims and invoices. Since the fund's creation and subsequent amendments in 2014 and 2017, stakeholders such as the Michigan Petroleum Association and staff at Eagle have identified areas that need clarification. Second, these bills separate claim and invoice requirements into distinct sections and update the timelines for submitting each. Third, the bills establish eligibility for federally recognized tribes to access financial responsibility under the fund. This change codifies tribal eligibility, which is currently unclear in statute. The legislation also increases the cap on administrative costs from 7% to 12% to reflect the substantial increase in claims since the program began in 2014. Without this increase, cleanup efforts would slow, and it would become more difficult for staff to complete comprehensive reviews of work invoice submittals to ensure that the work is necessary, appropriate, and cost-effective. Finally, the bills provide a sunset on the legacy release program, which offered limited reimbursement for corrective actions related to releases that occurred before December 30th of 2014. Again, we appreciate the committee's attention to these updates, which will help ensure the underground storage tank cleanup fund continues to operate efficiently and effectively. Thank you again for your time and consideration.
Again, I'm Bob Reisner. I'm the Michigan Underground Storage Tank Authority Director. I just wanted to add one thing. I don't have a lot of testimony, but one of the main parts of these amendments is to satisfy some EPA requirements. EPA oversees whether a state fund is considered federally approvable fund that owners can use to provide their insurance. It's called financial responsibility that everyone's required to have to operate a station. They identified some areas that they would like us to change in order to maintain that certification, and they're included in this bill, as well as the things that Dylan had mentioned. And other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Just one question I have is regarding the rules promulgated under Section 211. Could you just briefly highlight for the committee what those rules are, or?
The rules promulgated under Part 211, those are overseen by Lara.
Okay.
They're not Eagle rules.
Okay.
Part 215 does not have rules. I have a basic understanding of the Part 211 rules, but not enough to make intelligent testimony.
Okay, we'll work with Laura and get some more information on that. Vice Chair Aragona.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, guys, for being here. Just a quick question. So, if I understand this correctly, we're moving the cap for administrative funds from 7% to 12%?
Yes.
Okay. And right now, it's estimated that 7% brings in about 1.4 million?
That's correct.
Okay. So just rough estimate, this is going to be an additional $1 million.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not my intent to spend all that. It's just to be able to allow us to do so. 7% is quite a low administrative cap. For example, if the state has a grant from the federal government, they get 15.4% to administer that. So we're still less than half of that. So 7% is quite low, and it was understood at the time the statute was first created that as time went on and we got increasing number of claims that the 7% would most likely need to be raised.
Okay, and have we gotten an increasing number of claims?
Yes, we have throughout the years. We have 770 approximately open claims right now, and for probably 3 or 4 years of the fund, we might have had, at the end of each year, might have had 50 to 100 to 200, and it's continually grown, as has the number of stations using us for their financial responsibility mechanism. Currently, 2/3 of most of the gas stations in the state use this fund to meet their federal financial responsibility requirement. So that has continually raised throughout the years as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think that's all the questions we have for you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Mr. Griffin from the Michigan Petroleum Association. And you'd hit that button to turn the mic green, and then you'll be good to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Mark Griffin. I'm the president of the Michigan Petroleum Association and the Michigan Association of Convenience Stores. We represent petroleum wholesalers and retailers throughout the state of Michigan. We have approximately 250 member companies, and we own approximately 3,500 of the retail motor fuel locations, and we deliver the product to the other 1,500. So there's about 5,000 gas stations in Michigan in all of its 83 counties. We're here today to support House Bill 5115 and House Bill 4940. These two bills are the next step in the history of the most successful cleanup program the state of Michigan has ever had, and most of you have never heard of it. Back in 1988, Michigan, in response to an unfunded federal mandate, created the Must-FA program. That program failed to live up to its promise and was shut down in 1995 and replaced by private insurance. Private insurance failed and was replaced by the Must-TA, our current program, in late 2014. The legislature at the time created a board, an advisory board, to define and design this program. We generated this report in 2013. I've been on the job since '93, for those who wonder what's this old man talking about. But I've seen this program go up and down in a variety of different fashions. We're on the right track and have been since 2014 when it was created. When we created it, we thought at the time, well, we know at some point we're going to have to update it. We're going to have to put some amendments in to streamline it, make it more effective. And here we are 12 years down the road, and we're finally having to do that. I think that's a sign of how well it was originally designed, how well Eagle has ran the program. Little side note, this last fiscal year, Eagle helped industry clean up and close a record number of underground storage tank sites. Okay, I believe it was almost 600 sites we were able to get closed. Michigan is ranked number 2 in the country with open sites. The vast majority of those are the responsibility of the department. This whole program is funded by a 1 penny a gallon underground storage tank regulatory fee. Generates about $58 million a year, 30 million of which goes to Eagle to clean up the orphan sites that they're responsible for. 20 million goes into the underground storage tank fund. MDARD and LARA each get a portion of it. I believe that's detailed in 4940. These two bills, as I said, are going to streamline and strengthen the MUSTA program, help meet its primary mission of being a program that offers the federal mandate, which is financial responsibility, but also helps clean up underground storage tank sites. And we believe, as I said, since 1988, we've cleaned up approximately 18,000 sites around the state. Again, we support passage of this bill. If you all have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you.
Any questions from members of the committee? So, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have no more cards to read in, and we will now be hearing testimony and subsequently taking up House Bill 5545. Representative Linting will be testifying. And, yeah, Representative, begin when you're ready. 5455. Thank you. Questions, members of the committee? All right, and we're the only state to have left the compact? Wow. Wow. And your bill last term would have, or earlier this year would have prevented that. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Seeing no other questions, members of the committee, I have some cards to read in. Not wishing to speak in support of the bill is Sunny Hugendorn from Corewell Health. Not wishing to speak in support of the bill is Jason Lukowski from AARP of Michigan. Not wishing to speak in support of the bill is Adam Carlson from the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. Not wishing to speak in support of the bill is Emily Henchison from the Michigan Academy of Family Physicians. Not wishing to speak in support of the bill is Dr. Eric Riley from the Michigan Society of Anesthesiologists. And not wishing to speak in support of the bill is Kevin McKinney from the Michigan Osteopathic Association. And Representative Wenzel moves to report House Bill 5445 with recommendation. Will the clerk please call the roll? 5455, 5455.
On the motion to report, Chair Schuette?
Yes.
Representative Zaragona? Yes. Wenzel? Yes. Martin?
Yes.
Posthumous?
Yes.
DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitmer?
Yes.
Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. We will now be hearing testimony and subsequently taking up House Bill 5039. And Representative Roth will be testifying. And Representative, please begin when you're ready.
I believe I'm on. Yay, look at that. Good. At all? Okay, good. I'll be nervous then. House Bill 5039 is related to fertility fraud. And many of you might know that I've been working on fertility fraud for 3 terms. And this one involves Lara. That's why we're coming before the Rules Committee. Part of the deal is this bill in particular regards doctors that have done bad things. Maybe that's the best way to say it. This is when the doctor has donated his own DNA to the woman receiving IVF treatment. This requires Lara to investigate and go look at after a case in law where they are found guilty of doing things they should not have been doing to their IVF patient. This has been very important. This would remove their licensure so that they cannot continue to practice if they did one of these despicable acts to women trying to get IVF treatment. So it's one that we had to do, and we wanted to make sure Lara's on board. This doesn't have anything to do with the actual criminal part of it. That's done through the AG's office or another prosecuting, but this is going to require them to investigate this and make sure that if they've done bad things, their license is removed. There's penalties, obviously, for it, up to 5 to 15 years in prison if it's the most heinous of the crimes, and a $50,000 fine that could be levied. So we want Lara to be involved, and it probably won't be the last bill that we come before you necessarily. There will probably be another bill down the road that we talk about what Lara was request of IVF clinics to ask when they're asking donors and that kind of thing to come forward. So I think it's fairly simple, but we want your support.
Great. I know you've been working on this for a long time, John, so appreciate your continued work on that. Representative DeBoer.
So now there's no penalty.
We are the Wild Wild West here in IVF treatment. There are no guardrails, there's no laws. The best you can do at this point would be an individual that's been harmed could try and get civil penalties against a clinic or a provider that has misbehaved. That's all we have, and that's not been successful in the past.
How long have we had IVF treatment?
Oh boy, they've been doing it since at least the 80s, if maybe not late 70s.
Wow.
Some of this stemmed out of a IVF clinic in the Detroit area where a doctor and a couple of his fellow doctors misbehaved and inseminated multiple women, unbeknownst to them, with their own DNA. One lady tried to sue uncivilly, and the court threw out the case because they didn't know what the penalty should be. A child happened because of this, but what kind of dollar figure? This is going to put criminal act on some of these things. We're not trying to stop IVF. I want to be very clear. That's not stopping IVF. We want to make sure there's guardrails so that the services can be counted on to be accurate and on board.
Well, they've gone through enough trauma already.
And IVF doesn't work for every lady, and I know that I've talked to many people that have gone through it and it didn't work for them, and they maybe adopted or did something else, but it's a very expensive treatment. It is very personal, and when you have people not doing the right thing and defrauding people trying to get these services, we need to punish those that are doing the bad behavior.
Yeah, it has to be handled with integrity and protection.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions, members of the committee? Seeing none, Representative DeBoer moves to report the bill with recommendation. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to report, Chair Schutte,
Yes.
Representative Zaragona. Yes. Wenzel. Yes. Martin. Yes. Posthumus. DeBoer,
Yes.
Whitwer, Liberati, Hersberg. Mr. Chair, you have 6 yeas, 0 nays, and 3 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. We will now be taking up House Bill 4361. There is a substitute H1. It makes some technical changes, and Vice Chair Aragona moves to adopt the substitute. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to adopt the substitute, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
And Vice Chair Aragona again moves to report the bill with recommendation as substitute H1. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to report, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. We are now taking up House Bill 4501, and Representative Martin moves to report the bill with recommendation. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to report, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. And we're now taking up House Bill 4593, and there is a substitute from its previous committee, substitute H2. Representative Wenzel moves to adopt the substitute. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to adopt the substitute, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The substitute is adopted, and there is also a substitute H4 that makes technical changes, and Vice Chair Aragona moves to adopt this substitute.
On the motion to adopt the substitute, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
And Representative Posthumous now moves to report the bill with recommendation as substitute H4.
On the motion to report, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. That was a lot of juice for that, a lot of squeeze for that juice. All right. We'll now take up House Bill 4855, and there is a substitute requested by the Department of Natural Resources, substitute H1, which further clarifies that hunters may not use pistols during archery season unless for personal protection from aggressive wildlife. And Representative Martin moves to adopt the substitute. Would the clerk please take the roll?
On the motion to adopt the substitute, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
And Representative Posthumous moves to report the bill with recommendation as substitute H1. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to report, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. And we're now taking up House Bill 4891, and there is not a substitute. And Representative Wenzel moves to report the bill with recommendation. Would the clerk please call the roll?
On the motion to report, Chair Schutte?
Yes.
Representatives Aragona? Wenzel? Martin? Posthumous? DeBoer?
Yes.
Whitwer? Liberati? Hersberg? Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, and 0 pass. The motion does prevail.
The bill is reported with recommendation. All right. And we have perfect attendance, so there are no absent members, and there being no further business before the committee will stand adjourned.